Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the SirLinksalot podcast. I am your attentive host, Artemis Peacock, and I'm here with SirLinksalot founder, Nicholas Altimore. So I told him before the podcast that this was going to be one that I'm not going to tell him what we're going to be talking about. Nick, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm nervous at the same time. I'm like, oh gosh, I hope I have talking points here, but I'm ready. All right.
You do.
Let's
Okay.
go through the ringer.
So today's podcast is going to be about outrage marketing or even quirky marketing. Okay. And I know you've seen some, but I'm going to start off with a little bit of an anecdote. So, what do you know about Radio Shack?
They went out of business forever ago, right?
Yeah. Forever ago.
I used to go there to maybe like in my youth, right? Like they had remote control cars and parts for computers and batteries and cell phones. Right?
Those
like
were
a little
great.
mishmash of electronics. Yeah. That's about all I know about them.
I'm not going to lie. I barely remember that in my youth.
Oh, no. I'm an old man. Yeah, I was there. I lived it. I remember that.
Okay. So you'll be confused to know that actually Radio Shack was purchased in 2022 by a particular company. And nobody really had this on their radar. And they didn't really know about it until they go on Twitter and they see some very interesting tweets from Radio Shack, a verified account. At first, everybody thought that it was actually a scam. They thought, this was before you could pay for verification. It was definitely the Radio Shack account. They immediately went onto Twitter to say, is this real? Or did somebody actually Photoshop this? It says, if you find a squirter, marry her. So naturally, everybody is like, oh my gosh, has radio... So they got hacked. They got hacked. Period. But that's what
and it's got little glasses on the Radio Shack too. I don't remember being part of the branding or anything. That's pretty funny.
Again, clearly it's a hack. They obviously got hacked. Okay? And then people start reacting to it. One man says, the store I used to buy AA batteries at is trying to start an internet beef while running a crypto scam in 2022. This is wild for real.
I knew it. If Radio that's what Shack. They're doing. Well, the crypto scam, I'm like, yeah, I see this play happen a lot with hacked accounts where then they, put up a contract address and for a while everybody's like, oh my gosh, they actually said that, this and that, and it runs up to millions before they rug pull it, right? But
really? Well, this was an actual business. So they were a crypto company, but I don't know if this was directly trying to sell their product. They said, in this particular tweet, this response, hi, now that we finally got your attention, want to DM us? We've got some AA batteries for your vibrator, you Okay. So people are thinking, okay, this is some kind of like crypto. Like, what angle would this be for a crypto scam, Nick? Like, how would this be profitable for them?
Crypto in the trenches, as they call it, is all geared towards degeneracy and really flighty movements that last maybe a couple hours, sometimes a few weeks, but like that's pretty rare. So it's just like, it's about what do they call them? Attention capital markets, basically. As long as the attention is there, then they can inflate a chart, and as soon as that dies off, they kill the chart completely. But that would be, how they'd use it for crypto. However, I'm starting to think that maybe this has a different angle to it.
It might. Their next tweet. There's a reason why your 98% of stores closed down. There's a reason why your dad left for milk 15 years ago and still hasn't come back, bitch. Okay. So I looked it up, and they were doing this for about a year or so.
Right? Really?
Yeah. They were going pretty they were going ham with it. And then a year after that, the company sold again in 2023. And now,
do you have a number on for how much though? Was it basically?
I don't have a
okay.
I don't have a number, but I reckon that it was for more than they bought it for, because why else would they, right?
Sure.
And now they're posting things such as I don't even know what their product is actually. They're posting about their annual showroom event. a unique space to share experiences and results in all the countries where we operate. So they have an operation. They relaunched their B2B, B2C marketplace channels. Okay, their actual like operation going on right now.
What?
Also posted autumn vibes, tech ready. Clearly AI generated caption for Twitter. Did they do this to increase the valuation of their company in order to sell it?
Well, I mean, attention does sell, right? But usually you have to have a monetary value attached to it. Though the Radio Shack brand, we you bring it up, and immediately we both know what we're talking about. So there'd be some value there regardless. But what they use that for is still tripping me out. Here, let's see. I mean, is Radio Shack, like, do they have a website and such still?
That's a good question.
They do. So they're selling Radio Shack stuff. We've got radios, batteries, remote control. Oh
So
my
I
gosh.
believe that what I think happened. So I don't know who this guy is. You might know who he is. I'm not privy to it. His name is Ty Lopez. Have you
Yeah.
heard of him before?
He just got arrested, or like there's a big scandal involving his pyramid scheme, I think like 2 weeks ago.
Well, he was the one who bought Radio Shack in 2022. And
Oh, how
it was
about it?
his genius idea to go this direction with their marketing. I don't know anything about the guy. You probably have more insight on his motivations, but everyone's just saying this guy's just a scammer.
Well,
right?
I knew him as one of the original dudes that would show up all over Instagram, with what I assumed were rented Lambos until they were real Lambos that he owned based on courses and crap that I would never buy. But I know there's a whole market of hungry people out there willing to buy courses from absolutely the most scammy looking crap. I don't know. A name like Ty Lopez wasn't something I was ever going to trust, to be honest with you. But to each
I
their
was a bit
own.
surprised. I didn't look that much into his background, but just from what I saw, it just seemed like he wouldn't be the kind of person to buy Radio Shack and then turn it into a outrage machine on Twitter and then sell it to become the Radio Shack that we all know and love from our nostalgic days.
Well, that was the thing that I didn't think was going to happen here in this narrative. Was I go to the Radio Shack website and they're doing exactly what they did when they went defunct. That's still tripping me out. And quite honestly, like, now you've opened up a rabbit hole where I'm like, this needs to be looked into much further. Okay. But this is what happened in September of 2025, which is Radio Shack crypto venture is considered a scam and a Ponzi scheme. Of course, they all are. The U.S. Securities Exchange and Commission filed a lawsuit in September 2025 alleging Ty Lopez and Alex Murr, owners of Radio Shack brand through their company Retail E-commerce Ventures, defrauded investors by misinterpreting their use of funds, failing to generate profits. Yeah, okay. So it's interesting. I would have thought that I don't remember the Radio Shack thing coming up. Wait, was this on Wall Street Bets as a one of their short squeeze plays?
Oh, it might have been. You mean similar to what they did with GameStop?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, because I remember GME was the big one, but then AMC also popped up at that same time. But I don't think Radio Shack was part of that. But that's pretty interesting. I guess,
So
like,
nostalgia angle, like maybe they were just trying to pump up their crypto and
yeah. I mean, like, because we automatically know about Radio Shack, right? We're a generation apart too, so it's got some name stay. And yeah, they saw an angle, and they've got low morals, and but I mean, just the scope of something like this is pretty insane. I'd like to know what they originally bought Radio Shack the brand for, price wise. I think that would be pretty interesting, because I don't imagine it would be worth all that much.
Do you have a thesis? Do you
commitment.
think that this was a profitable marketing
Oh yeah,
project for them?
yeah, definitely. I don't know how profitable, but I'm willing to bet it was very profitable. But if you look at guys like Ty Lopez, like they were very profitable in their ventures regardless, and these are the type of angles that they took with everything. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Sometimes I'm like, wow, maybe if I just cut out like some of my morals, I could figure out some interesting ways to make money. Yeah.
Well, here's what I think. I don't know if that would actually work because if they were doing literally anything else with this company,
Mhm.
this would have been the quickest way to kill their stock if it were a publicly traded
Sure.
company
Mhm.
ever. So I think that there are ways to do this kind of marketing that are less offensive, for lack of a better term,
Sure.
and would actually have better results for their branding and on their ROI. So actually follow this brand called Cool Shirts. Personally, I've never purchased any of their shirts. However, my husband has, and I wear his shirts all the time because of who I am as a person. I'm a dirty, rotten, stealing shirt thief. So I followed them on social media. And a couple of years ago, they changed direction in their marketing to where they started posting things that were edgy, but
Mhm.
not offensive, just things that you
Sure.
probably shouldn't be posting. For example, a few people have asked what is my creative process for coming up with shirt ideas. Basically, I'm chained up in someone's basement right now. I need help. This is not a joke. The police have given up the search, but I'm alive. My name is cut off.
That's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Another one.
lighthearted fun. Unless it's actually happening, and sorry to whoever.
Rest assured. Unless you're actually in someone's basement, then sorry.
Yeah.
I decided to stop making shirts. I saw one on Amazon that had a jacked wolf smoking a cigar. How the am I supposed to compete with that? Another one.
I
We
have
make
shirts
shirts
like
for
that.
28-year-olds whose favorite show is Adventure Time. The angles that they take with these are like you're not offended. I mean, unless you
No,
are. Another one.
they're clever.
Yes, we're able to sell shirts to America again, but that doesn't change our policy that we will never sell shirts to people from Ohio.
Respect.
Please
I
don't ask me why you haven't received your order yet. You need to respect my boundaries and realize that I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I hold the power here. Bow to me, worms. I think this is fantastic.
God, I wish I had the gall to respond to some customer service stuff at SirLinksalot in a similar fashion, Man, maybe I should. Maybe I'm going to
Why
take a
can't
little.
you?
Yeah, there's been certain times where I've thought about maybe doing something like this, but I don't know. I feel like people in tech are probably less resilient about ego than fun t-shirts and adventure time.
Do you think there are certain
Ways.
industries that can get away with this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like anything that's like creative or fun, right? You're selling quirky t-shirts, then sure, your audience is going to be quirky. They're going to like this sense of humor, right? So all of that plays real well. The Radio Shack thing, yeah, if it was based on a crypto thing, I can understand why they did this because the more degenerate it is, the more staying power it has. It's just funny that then they offloaded it, sold it, and converted it back into some sort of wholesome company, which is
Which is
funny.
crazy. Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, were they looking at that before they were, they're considering buying Radio Shack? They look at their Twitter and there's kind of like, what, like you guys just, does this affect our brand image? What I'm thinking is maybe they thought that the minor effect that it had on their brand image, minor, was
Yeah.
worth it. Because,
Yeah.
think about it. Radio Shack had been dead for years. You hadn't even heard me say Radio Shack until, you hadn't heard anyone say Radio Shack until
I
I
was
mentioned
like, where are we
it. Yeah.
going with this? Yeah.
Yeah. But clearly it wasn't a deal breaker for them.
Mm-mm.
So but this is like a risky strategy to try out, if you ask me, because if you try it out and then it doesn't go well, then you've just lost people, like, period, who were like, we don't like this.
I think the thing that maybe we're missing here is that the product wasn't ever going to be Radio Shack, the brand. The product was going to be that liquidity they sucked out of whatever crypto coins they were pushing, which then ends up disappeared into cyberspace. And even if they go through this and they get some jail time, there's a really good documentary on something similar to this, where basically when crypto first became a thing, these guys automatically jumped on the bandwagon, made this bullshit website with a fake CEO that went to fake Harvard and all this stuff. But long story short, they served jail time, and then when they all got out, they were still rich.
They were so rich.
What do you know? Like, so like some of these guys are playing, like, it's just, I don't know. My mind isn't set up that way, right? To be
Right.
able to be that devious and just consider, well, we're basically going to milk this thing. We'll sell it off like it was something legitimate at some point, but the whole concept is what you can suck out of this. But granted, like, I think this is maybe a just more in your face kind of way of doing that, because I think there's plenty of companies. Just so y'all know out there, Artemis and I typically start off with about like an hour of verbal vomit and banter about all sorts of stuff that maybe one day we'll talk about on here out in the open. But
Oh yeah,
it gets
we're
a
ready.
little bit
We're
more
trained. We're trained.
risque. Yeah, we're training. I think about companies, and like not just companies, but like we were talking about conglomerates earlier.
Yeah.
Companies like BlackRock, etc., right? And they do shit like this all the time. So these concepts are actually kind of like a small version of capitalistic biggest business practices that go on, where you're manipulating markets. You might be building up a brand just to take it, or buying up small brands just to dismantle them, take them apart, and then collect a tax break on, etc. Right? So I don't know. These people are
Right.
playing like different games than what we are. Like you can take the creator approach, and you're trying to build the best product that you can possibly have. You're trying to shape the world for the better, yada yada. And then there's the opposite, where you're literally just saying what you can suck out of the world. And I think a lot of businesses kind of operate that way. And so yeah, you can look at small games like this, um, even to the bigger games that are being played that really affect people's lives. And they're doing stuff like this.
Yeah. As an ethical business owner, what level would you say you would allow the marketing team to take this to? Like in between, I guess, Radio Shack being like the no holds barred, like completely off the rail shit, and here's like vanilla, like AI-esque
Well,
current radio.
as far as us, like on a branding thing, you mean like if we're putting out tweets that are offensive?
Yeah, like branding is the most important thing that could be sacrificed here, right?
Sure.
Mm,
Yeah, you
and
could.
when you lose that, it's hard to recover that.
But who said, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? If you're getting eyes on you, then a lot of times that can be steered positively. And honestly, you've kind of taken that privilege already with this episode, because we're going down rabbit holes that are more risque.
Right.
And we'll see. I don't know. Is it going to offend our viewers out there that we're discussing these kind of tactics? Or are they going to find it interesting? Put a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you're offended.
I think
I
that's the
feel
first time we've ever said that on stream.
I feel like in general, yeah, this is probably one of the more riskier episodes because I think that I've said like twice.
Yeah.
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 In general, yeah. So in general, even talking about these kinds of topics, people are just kind of like, wait, where are you going with
What?
this? Like,
Am I
what?
allowed to hear this? Yeah.
Yeah, is this legal? But
I don't know. I'm kind of like, now I'm like, well, if you feel like talking to people like that in the group, go ahead. Let's experiment. Maybe we have SirLinksalot just come out, and SirLinksalot can be a real edgy little dude. I mean, we operate in a really weird subset niche of technology. I feel like historically there were like little innuendos and stuff that would get used a lot. I haven't seen it in a while, but like, for example, back in the day, 5-10 years ago, tops, there were people like Matt Diggity. I think he coined the term rank boner. I'm gonna give it to him if he
really,
didn't. But like, yeah, rank boner was like if the graphs started shooting up, then like you had rank boners and things of that nature. And yeah, people enjoyed, I think, a little bit of that. And it does
Especially
go
for our
far.
audience, yeah.
You know, even if he didn't create it, he used it so well that I'm giving him the first on it.
Well earned.
Yeah, he deserves it, and it's a good one. It's a really good one.
Yeah, I feel like with our audience, so you can get away with that, right? People
I
who
think
are
so.
more into like marketers, the technical side of things. We
Hmm.
tend to have that very similar sense of humor, and at the same time, we also have that stereotype that we're like dry or not
Yeah.
fun to talk to.
Yes.
There's like two different sides of that coin right there. But it all at the end of the day completely not just depends on your audience, but also your product. For
Sure.
example, the I'm sure you've heard of the scandal with the astronomer CEO who was caught
Yeah.
creeping with his head of HR at a
Hmm.
Coldplay concert. Did you see how they recovered from that?
Not exactly. I know they made like a crypto coin about it and all that stuff. I didn't follow the saga too hard though. I saw there's like some added conspiracy to it recently that I didn't jump in on. So no, I didn't follow it.
Really?
No. Yeah, there's something else
Ooh.
going on with it, I guess.
Okay, we're
Not
gonna
to
touch on that
not
in
to
a second.
put that back in the forefront of people's minds, but yeah, I guess
I
so.
know now I'm curious. We're gonna touch on that in a second. But how they recovered from it was probably the most clever use of marketing, like recovery marketing,
Hmm.
PR, I should say, that I've seen. They paid Gwyneth Paltrow, who is the ex-wife of the headliner of Coldplay,
Uh-huh.
and they paid her to do an ad, and it was very quirky, and it pretty much featured all the crazy questions they were getting on social media about this entire incident. And then they posted the questions, and she said, we have so many questions." And they posted the questions, and then she didn't answer the questions at all. She just
Uh-huh.
started talking about like the product, in like a very roundabout, funny way. So they're
Yeah.
addressing it without actually like addressing it. And who they picked to address it was funny, even though like
Mhm.
the guy in Coldplay, he didn't do anything wrong. He was just,
Right.
having a chat about it. He was like having a laugh, like
Yeah.
everybody else. But just the angle that they took with it was so clever that people started thinking, what are you guys even selling? What
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah. What
What
is this? Yeah.
Yeah, that's ideal. Whereas
Hmm.
with something like Radio Shack, people already kind of know, or they think they know what Radio Shack
Hmm.
is selling, but we had to do that research 3 years after the fact to
Right.
figure out what their angle was, and it was
Sure.
crypto, and some guy who just got arrested for doing similar things, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if we could go that far ever, but how the astronomer handled the situation, I think was very clever.
Well, I mean, it's incredibly clever. Like, you've got an opportunity at that point to try and sweep things under the rug, which we know this day and age is not going to work for you, or you turn it into something, you spin it, right, to match some sort of energy and then get what you can out of it. Again, like you can, make anything to where it's not bad publicity for you if you spin it properly. I mean, shit.
Mm,
We see this stuff going on in politics today where it's like, I don't know, certain files or stuff like, just well, what the
where
fuck
they do
ever.
everything. You guys are still asking about
Yeah,
those?
yeah,
You
but
know?
like it's all the same play. Like, how do you take this substance that's out there in the form of notoriety and then turn it into something that serves your favor? Yeah, there's
Right.
yeah,
I
there's
have the pleasure of chatting with the Bosnian diplomat to
Oh,
the
I
Netherlands
remember.
and Portugal
Yeah.
recently. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I don't think that he realizes this, but I made a comment about it. I think that it's on his radar now.
Hmm.
It was just like a friendly conversation I was having at the embassy with him because my father-in-law accidentally stole his wife's purse, and I said I
Yeah.
don't want anything in
Yeah,
return.
it's a
After I
funny
turned it, I
story.
said, "Just talk to me. I'm a nerd. Please, just tell me about your country." He was like, "Okay, sounds good." And the man was so violently PR trained. And I don't think he thought of
Really?
it that way. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And I noticed one thing that he would do if I would ask touchy questions, and you know me, I was just
You're
asking him
going to.
questions. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to. I was just like asking him some mess. I was like, yeah, tell me about the genocide. Like I don't
Mhm.
know. I was just asking him some mess to see what he would respond. He
Mhm.
was so ridiculously PR trained that whenever I would ask a risque question that he knew that he couldn't answer, that I knew that no,
He
he knew that he couldn't answer.
Yeah.
He would turn the question back to what we were talking about, maybe like 45 seconds beforehand. It's like, when
A
you save your
comfy
game.
talking point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it
When you
saved
save
your
your
game.
game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like
Yeah.
reloaded the save
Mm.
and he was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, go back to
Yeah.
that. I was thinking, oh, that's the best PR training ever. But obviously, he wouldn't think of it that way. Man's like 60 something years old. He's a career politician, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't do that. So there's something to be
Man,
learned.
I feel like you could write a whole kind of playbook on what could be replay theory or something like that on, just backtracking and restarting the conversation over. Same as you would a video game. That's an interesting concept.
Gotcha. Maybe we could name it something really quirky,
No, no,
like
no, no. You came up with it. You run with it. I'll read the book. Yeah,
you'll
but
read my
I think
book.
there's, yes, I think there's something there. Because yeah, people do that, and they backtrack, in any number of ways, whether that's a company or an individual politician, or your mom that you talked to last week who doesn't want to talk about your childhood or whatever. Not
Oh yeah, literally every time. But in a business sense, I feel like, okay, first of all, the parents who do such things, they also have jobs, and I
sure.
can pinpoint them at
Hmm.
all of my places of employment. I can pinpoint them right away. I know
Right.
someone who will do a roundabout answer, and the
Hmm.
reason is because they will tell you that this is the company policy on handling,
Yeah.
uh, shadiness whatsoever.
Sure.
So obviously we have a good product to stand behind. So it's
Hmm.
not like we have to do any like put out any fires all the time or any kind
For
of
sure.
damage control. But if we did, Nick, we haven't gone over this, Nick.
No,
What,
it's never
what's
been
our
something
plan of
that's
attack?
come up. I think it's never come up because we didn't ever take a angle from the get-go to where, something like that would play out. Like, we have been ethical. We have kind of, put things together based on products that I was using to manipulate search, right?
Right.
But I guess I do know others that cut more corners, etc., that did have to go down that rabbit hole at some point in time. I feel like the majority of them probably just work on gaslighting angles, and I don't think that's the best way to go about it. Let's say you find yourself, for those of you watching, right, out there, maybe a little less ethical or just don't give a shit and like playing these games all the time. Gaslighting is probably not the best way to go. It pisses people off. But leaning into it and kind of spinning the narrative to match something or like change it might work better for you. I would venture to guess.
From my perspective of how I've seen companies handle this sort of thing, the best line of approach is to, first of all, don't delete the comments
No.
because then people get extremely pissed off. And if
Yeah.
they don't have a medium to say what they want to say underneath your owned platforms,
Hmm.
then they will find somewhere else to say that you can't control the narrative at all. And
Sure.
then they'll go on Twitter and then blast your company, and then you are knee deep up shit's creek.
Hmm.
So responding in a way that makes your company look level-headed and not psychotic is the best line of attack. Not
Agreed.
ignoring it because then people can like make whatever narratives they want in their head to it, but
Yeah.
actually like giving it a good thought, sometimes even a good apology. For example, I had a I rented a canoe when my in-laws were in town. And the second we were pulling up, the guy told me, "We can't get your canoe for you. We are so sorry. My wife just went into labor and we can't do this for you right now." So yeah, we're about to close up shop and we're not going to be able to serve anyone else. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I hope she has a safe delivery. Congratulations in advance. That's
Yeah.
crazy." So we last minute go to another canoe place, go by maybe like an hour and a half later and see the place is open and they're like helping people into canoes. We're like, oh gosh, what is this about? So I emailed them. Obviously, I don't want to make any assumptions. I was like, hey, we saw you guys helping some people into canoes. What was going
Sure.
on? No response. So you don't know this about me, Nick, but I moonlight as a level 7 Google local guide
Uh-huh.
reviewer. I have
Hmm.
hundreds of I used to be
I
an
believe
elite
it.
I used to be an elite Yelp reviewer back in the day, with all the Yelp parties and stuff. I love reviewing stuff, mostly because I like helping out small businesses, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I
So you
left the
come from a point of helping versus I'm angry here, angry here, right? It's a big distinction because I think a lot of,
so yeah,
Yelpers are angry.
psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. I want to say maybe 95% of my reviews are 5-star, and that's
Nice.
because when I make a 1-star review, then people actually pay attention, right?
Sure.
So I leave a review and I talk about our experience and I say, I asked why this was a thing and they just refused the service and they didn't say why. Guy responds, "This is a horrible review to make because I was dealing with my father who had a cancer emergency."
Yeah. Just, I can't remember which lie I used, but I think it was this one.
Which is probably, yeah, that's literally the worst way to respond to a review. I'm thinking, how many times have
Yeah.
you done this,
How
right?
often are you doing it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I deleted the
How many
review.
stories do you have to juggle at any given time to just get it right?
Zero
Mm.
PR training, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
I delete the review and I re-upload it with a screenshot of the cancer emergency and I describe the pregnancy situation too. I was like, this is crazy. And the guy responds to the review just nasty. "Were you drunk when you wrote this?" I don't even remember what the guy said, but
That's
it
gonna
was
help his canoe business for sure.
oh yeah, unhinged. And my reviews pop up within the first like 10 because
Uh-huh.
I'm a local guide.
Yeah.
I'm a local guide,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
Not
was
something you
thinking
want to fuck with.
not really someone, yeah, not don't do that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, this is literally like I know for a fact that this guy has nobody doing his marketing but him, and
Mhm.
I'm so glad that he's not a client of mine, or else I would have lost it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no coming back from that, bro. Like the lying is one thing, but you could have saved yourself after the lying. You could have
Yeah.
even saved yourself after the second lie,
Yeah.
but
They
they
kept
just
going.
kept going.
People like that are their worst enemies because, yeah, you've got a chance to remedy whatever is going on. This actually happened to me recently on Whatnot, and he doubled down on his lie. And then I was like, actually, here's how it went. And this is why I got upset about it. And finally, after like the third try, fourth try, he goes, I see why you're upset with this whole deal now. Yeah, because I don't like being gaslit into shit. It's one thing you can neg on a deal, whatever, any number of things, but then to try and make it seem like it's your fault is not the best approach on anything, right? Like from a business standpoint or from like an individual to individual standpoint in general, I think yeah, that's a bad
Yeah,
sign.
it's a bad look. As a
Mhm.
customer, what are you most likely to do when someone approaches you that way? Are you more likely to go on your personal channels and leave like a nastier review or review
Mhm.
bomb them on all of their other channels? Like what's your first plan of attack as just
I'll
like
s-
an irrelevant reviewer
I'll say
yourself?
this, right? There have been plenty of times where I've interacted with businesses where I sit there and I'm like, based on like the networks I've created and my ability to do reputation management, I can also, and like quite honestly, like it's not something I do, but I could economically assassinate a business like especially like a small local business pretty easily. It's not something I do because I think that's a I don't know, you're just going to a place that it's too far. But I will absolutely voice my opinion as my face on reviews. Like one that comes to mind recently, or not that recently, but a while back. This this mechanic that I sent my ex to get some work done on the car, like then she brings me back, the quote, and I'm going, what the are they talking about? Like you need $1,200 to fix your headlights. Like I literally told you it's just a bulb. No, they've said that something's wrong and like everything needs to come out. So I called them and I'm like, do you think like somebody's not going to be able to review this stuff? I just fixed it for $15. And they kind of doubled down. Oh, well, this and this. So I went and I just, put my face up on Yelp and Google reviews, and I wrote a long-winded bit of information, right, outlining the scams that they were trying to run, etc. And yeah, I could have gone further than that, quite honestly, but it's not. I don't know. I think that's enough,
Yeah.
right? I voiced my opinion. It got left up there. It brought him down, half a star or whatever, and it is what it is. But I try not to be too vindictive, like it in general, and not just business to business, but person to person, I try not to let revenge be something I obsess over. I feel like people that do that are privy to getting lost in that, and anything that takes you away from like the big scope, which is just getting the job done, or building the business, or working like the creative side of things, is a step in the wrong direction. So
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
I feel like most people, you're like the top 1% of reasonable consumers. Most people, when it comes to, regardless of what the service is, they get pissed. Even
Yeah.
services, maybe they might be particularly touchy or not, but some people just have that personality type to
Mhm.
where if they feel like they've been slighted or wrong, regardless of the validity of it, they're just going to
Yeah.
take that and run. And as someone who's handling, from handling someone's marketing, the first line of attack, those are kind of people who don't realize that the person who's running your the Instagram account for the company is not the person who's responsible for whatever you're pissed off about.
No.
So
Right.
I used to do social media for a pretty large tech startup that deals with like pediatric sleep consultation, things like
Uh-huh.
that. So I would be getting the extremely tired, exhausted new parents very early in the morning or late at night. And like, I understand it's a very sensitive thing, when you're talking about a new child, people are very sensitive about like their parenting. They're sensitive about,
Mhm.
how they're like, whether they're doing the right thing for their new baby. It's a very,
Sure.
very tough thing. So when you're responding to something like that, it has to be very, very, very informed. You have to like really tiptoe around things with the audience, and that sort of account is really stressful because
I
they're
would
even
imagine so.
more. Oh yeah, if the app goes down, if the app went down several times, they were having like login errors. I would be there for like 8 hours just
Oh my
responding
gosh.
individually so they didn't crash out because they're exhausted. They don't know, like, when am I supposed to put my baby to bed? Everything was logged inside of the sleep tracker. I can't log in. One of you guys going to fix this?
My
Fuck your
baby's
mother.
gonna die. Oh my gosh. Which
They
is
weren't.
not funny. It's not funny, but it's like, yeah.
I mean, it was not nearly as serious. It was kind of funny. I'm
How
not
did
gonna.
we ever make it through the frontier days and shit before the time of these apps? I don't
I
know.
don't even know how I made it through waking up in the morning without my virtual alarm. I'm one of these people. I'm one of these
That's
people. Absolutely.
hilarious.
Well, I get them. Okay, I get it,
Uh-huh.
queen.
Yeah.
At the same
Yeah,
time,
exactly.
bitching at the social media manager behind this account is not going to bring your account back, and
That's
they'll go even further.
yeah.
They'll go even further.
That's like a venting thing, right? Like an
Is
emotional
it?
regulation issue, don't you think? I don't know. I don't know if it is, but I'm just when I think about people that like I've dealt with in customer service or whatever that are like working from points of ignorance more so than something not working. Then yeah, it's like almost like you need to coddle them like a child. Like, I get where you're coming from, but based on this and
Yeah.
this. So I guess what you're saying for that pediatric company, no Radio Shack style momentum, right?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, consider your audience whenever you're diving into some sort of viral marketing campaign, right?
Have you thought about throwing the baby out the window, you wicked
Oh,
little
yeah.
bitch?
Oh my God. Ooh, but that would probably help you sell some crypto coins or whatever.
The baby coin.
Yeah, just switching the business model on the fly here, Yeah, baby
So
coin.
the way that was handled, so sometimes when you respond to things like that and you sound too corporate, people do get a
Mhm.
bit cross with you.
Sure.
They're a bit like you're just treating me like I'm another number, or you're treating me
Yeah.
like I'm just a regular customer, whatever, whatever. Not realizing that you answered like 50 similar DMs within the past hour or so.
Yeah.
Mm,
But that's a
that was
that's a thing
inappropriate.
too. Like eh, ha if it's corporate customer service, then how can you go about all of this stuff like a psychologist, right? Like or a therapist. That's not really going to be possible in any
Yeah,
industry that I know of. I think the as businesses grow, you're just going to deal with this type of clientele no matter what because they're in there, right?
right.
As far as our population goes, we got this many people with this type of neurosis. We were just talking about that. This many people with this kind of neurosis, whatever.
Oh yeah, everybody's
And yeah,
somewhere along the lines of having like a very like neurotic personality type to a certain degree. Me,
sure.
I'm very like high in neuroticism. If things like very structured person, things don't like go my
Mhm.
way or go how I planned, I have to like have a come to Jesus moment and sit down with myself and be
I
like,
don't know
okay.
how you're working with me because I'm fucking chaotic, and I know I am. But in turn, it's that I know I need people like you to help me structure whatever it is that yeah,
I think
I'll
that
be
it's
lacking in.
because you let me do what I've got to do, you
Yeah,
know? So
I'm not
like,
a micromanager by far. I'm
oh, not
kind of the
even close.
opposite, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes I micromanage you a bit, Nick, and I feel
Good.
like,
I
which is
need that.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, when you're working with people who have like very uh polar opposite ways of like workflow or like how they operate, it's a net positive in
Sure.
every single way, like literally
Yeah.
every way. Not only do people help balance each other out, but when we encounter issues like that, which we don't get hate mail unless someone
Yeah.
wants to like leave them right
No.
now and just for just
I
to
was just thinking about that. I'm like, we've gone
someone can leave.
so far with no issues. Like now we're bringing all this up, and it's just the
And
wrong
now they're gonna be like,
person's
oh,
going to
by
say it
the
and be
way,
like, oh, huh,
well, the summer
yeah,
of 2018, I purchased this, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
complain about it at the time, but like since you guys want to be cocky about it, look,
yeah.
okay, what I'm
I
saying is
yeah. Hmm.
we have different
Here,
ways of
here,
handling
here it
it.
comes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I feel like having that check and balance in place is a pretty solid way of going about it. For
Yeah.
example, if we have a hate comment underneath this video and they say, Nick Artemis, I don't like the fact that you said the word bitch
Hmm.
like 3 times unprompted. I wasn't prepared for that. My child is in the room
Yeah.
and little Demetrius is on the floor crying because you said bitch. How dare you? Okay. If we get such a comment, if I were to respond, I feel like I would immediately just like create an SOP so that we make sure that we're all on the same page and that we all respond to hate comments in the same way so that nobody feels like they're being like, responded to dismissively or treated differently from everybody else.
Hmm.
I feel like Nick would like just go right off the cuff. Like he just woke up, he saw this comment. It's 7 a.m. He's
That
about to take
happens a
his kid
lot.
to school.
Yeah.
And he says, you'll be okay, enter. And then goes up on the stage. Which
Yeah.
I don't think there's any wrong way of doing it. I feel like it's just different. And since Nick is the CEO, he can do that.
I, if you responded with "bitch, please," I barely said it. I wouldn't care either. Yeah,
Really?
whatever. They ruffle some feathers here and there. It is what it is. We're gonna bleep these out, I think, regardless. But if it does offend somebody, please again drop a comment down below. It really helps us. I'm starting to think
I'll
that
engage it.
on. You saw the comment recently. Somebody was like, I can't even remember what the word was, but they said I used a word wrong, and then they're like, "We can't even understand you. Learn English or something along those lines." And I was like, "All right, well,
I didn't
yeah."
see it.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it is what it is. As we put ourselves out there, we're inviting this sort of attention, and
Oh yeah.
to get mentally arrested by it, nah. That's why I like the short, just yeah, I've never been so upset by a video that I have to leave a comment. I can't think of
Have you ever
a
left a hate comment before, like on anything?
no. No, no. No, no, no. Not unless they wronged me, right? Like I'm thinking about
Right.
like that mechanic or something like that. But no,
That's
out
not
of
even hate.
nowhere,
Have you
like I'm on the
bullied
internet.
anyone
Have I
on
bullied
the internet?
anybody on the internet?
Who do you cyberbully?
No, no. See, like I don't have alternate accounts or anything like that. Like it's not something I've ever done. I don't cyberbully. I
Hmm.
I'm in a chat. See, that's enough too. Is like I'm in chats where I grew up in an era where if you are friends, you talk shit to each other relentlessly. Like there is no escape. And God forbid you make a mistake. If you give into it and you let them know that it gets under your skin, then you're going to deal with that for the rest of your life. And so I feel like I've got enough of these chats, where we're all pushing 40 now, but we still act like we're 18.
Same.
So
That's
we're,
not gonna.
I don't have to get out there and bully anybody else. Yeah, we're our own little lovable punching bags in there. Maybe I think
I
that's
feel,
what it is.
yeah. I feel like when I put myself in the shoes of people who do feel the need to do those sorts of thing, it made me less upset about the hate comments that I get. And I'm all of my content everywhere is very harmless, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, like I just make like travel content. That's all I
Mm-hmm.
do. And before that, I was making
And you've
roller
been doing
skate.
it for a long time. Yeah.
I've been doing it for a while, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing offensive about anything that I do or say. I'm a very
No.
very wholesome kind of content creator. But even
Yes.
I'll get comments, and I used to be really torn up about it. I used to be like, man, why would you say that about me? That's not very nice. I didn't even do anything to you. And I realized that these kinds of people are literally just like unhappy about something else. And I stopped being so torn up about it. I was like, oh yeah, you just got broken up with. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like
The,
I'll
con-
just be
the
scared in my head.
Yeah, well, the concept of the troll, right? Like that word, that entire narrative, it holds merit, right? It's somebody who's cooped up, angry about any number of things going on. I don't know, maybe they're a fucking incel, whatever. And yeah, seeing any kind of like joy or positive movement is something that they've got to just come back and shit all over. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
why they exist, but it's the same thing as cockroaches. Like, they're out there and they do what
You
they
heard that
do,
here.
right? Yeah,
You heard it here
yeah,
first.
yeah.
It's
Now
here.
leave me some comments if you're watching. Go ahead. Let's start it up. Bring them.
I
Bring
feel like
on.
it's a sign
Hate
that
mail us.
I feel like what would you even hate? We're so I think we're just too regular to cultivate proper hate mail.
I
I
would think
mean,
so. Any negative comments that have like been in our shows, like I always feel like there's such a stretch because I'm going, and I'm talking about SirLinksalot shows across history.
yeah.
um yeah, it's just always a stretch, right? Like
Mhm.
that comment I was talking about, I didn't really understand it. Like it made me kind of chuckle. I'm going, "Eh, this is the angle you took and you thought that would what
That's
is
completely
like
the math.
what's the outcome, right? Like what's the
Yeah.
outcome you're looking for is what I don't really understand. And then in turn I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to comment on that and positively because this is all good for our algorithm. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I
I'm
feel like
okay with it.
the only hate I've gotten, I've just taken as feedback.
Yeah.
Like someone commented about me looking too far away from the camera,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, well,
Okay.
it's pretty common for the camera and the screen to be in a different place. Like I was looking in
Yeah.
one place, the camera was the other place. It's very common. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's standard videography. I thought, maybe I'll just move it and see what happens. And I moved
Sure.
it. I thought, this is actually kind of a nice angle. It really brings out my soft
Ah,
jawline. I'll just keep
ah.
it this way. I just took it as feedback. So
No, I don't like it. You
you
see,
know,
you can get one of us to do it, and I hope that fixes you, whoever you are. I'm gonna
I
keep
don't
with
know who
the
they were talking
broken
to
eyes
either.
thing.
We were both on camera. I have no idea who they were talking to.
Well, I know I'll watch some of my videos sometimes, and I'll go, "Damn, dude, you are shifty eyed," which I kind of just do in normal conversation. It's always hard getting a look at yourself or hearing your own voice. When you first start doing this, I still to this day hate it. You know,
Really.
I told you the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm talking like a valley girl. That needs to be fixed. And now I
Yeah.
will go back and I'll look here and I'll go, did I fix it? Because I've been conscious of it, but I don't know if that's enough to get me to stop saying like,
I feel like
or
maybe if you just stop rewatching the footage, I clip it, I'll upload it, I'll make sure it looks pretty. You don't have to worry your pretty little head about that, Nick. I
it's
feel like
not really a worry, right? Like it's that I like to know how I'm kind of portraying myself, I guess, right? Or how I'm being digested. Because it's something I don't know, some people like watching themselves on camera. They can't get enough of themselves being heard by everybody. I don't particularly care for it. Um but if I'm going to do it, then I'd like to be conscious of, how I come across, I guess.
yeah. I
But it's
actually
not going to
feel
make
like
me do it like less.
but I mean, I feel like everybody feels annoyed by themselves, like when they're
Mm,
watching themselves. I mean, I don't have any issues with self-esteem at all. Ask anyone around me. But
sure.
even when I'm rewatching my own videos, even with my own personal channel, I
Mhm.
won't rewatch my own videos, period, because I know that I'm just going to be so hypercritical of myself
Yeah.
for no reason. I was
Yeah.
sending someone was posting the tier 2 link video that I filmed all
Mm-hmm.
the way back in March for the new
Yeah.
product. And I was posting a link to it in our Facebook group. I thought, let me rewatch it. Let me, what's going on here? I rewatch it. I'm like, why was I dressing like that? Why did I take so long to lose 5 pounds? Why didn't I not put the ring light closer to my face? And at the time, it was fine. It's still probably fine. That's just how people are, I
It's
think.
way fine. Yeah, I've never thought about any of those things watching your videos. So
Really?
it's funny how, like, you know, the self-reflection will be typically the worst one. I think if you're a decent person, you are going to be harder on yourself than others should probably be. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
no
don't
one's
know.
allowed to criticize me, period. Like, except for Nick
I don't criticize. Yeah,
and
it's not.
Jesus. Uh No, but you don't. Exactly, you don't. You're like the Kris Jenner meme. What is it when she's like standing behind the camera with like she's filming Kim Kardashian? She goes, "You're doing amazing, sweetie." That's the vibe that I get.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I would like to embody that kind of. Well, to a certain degree,
Supportive
right? Like
Kris
the
Jenner.
idea. Yeah, supportive. Let's leave it at
Right.
supportive. Yeah.
And I feel like you don't extend that as much to yourself, but it's not surprising because a lot of people who, first of all, I'm just honored that you even agreed to chat with me on camera because like you have such good gems. It would be like a waste for it to be, not shared with society. But I recognize that not everybody is out here trying to be some kind of influencer. Sometimes you just want to be like just chat genuinely and just
Yeah.
do what you need to get done without having to appeal to the masses in a way.
Yeah.
And that's your personality type. You don't have the personality type to where you're just kind of like, oh, I'm going to hop on here and act super excited, like make a Mr. Beast video because I want so many views. Like it's just not who
I
you
wish
are.
I had it in me. I don't have it
Do
in me.
you?
I've talked to my buddies about it too. Well, you know, it's funny if you talk to the people I used to bartend with, like I guess um if the setting of the bar was theater and you got me semi drunk, then I could put on character and it could be a little bit more loud and more fun. Maybe that's what I need to do. Just a bottle of some Jack Daniels back there and just like one or two shots pre
Pre-game
going,
before
but
the
I'm worried
podcast?
about who that brings back, to be honest with you. You know, I kind of like this passive Nick. It's grown on me over the years.
I like this,
But
Nick. I feel like it could very quickly turn into an episode of like drunk history where they get
oh yeah,
historians wasted and they just
yeah,
have them
great show.
recalling things. I get passionate about that while sober. Like I've
Hmm.
left hate comments before, and it's about people who completely misinterpret Tudor history and demonize all the wives of Henry VIII. Anyway,
Wait, so you do go out there leaving hate comments?
oh yeah, I'm a cyberbully. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry.
Absolutely.
I need to ask. Yeah, okay.
You
Tell
never
me a little
asked.
bit about that. Yeah,
That's
go
the
ahead.
thing. Oh yeah, no, you
Yes,
never asked. I'm absolutely a cyberbully, but I'm a cyberbully for justice,
fair.
It's
Yeah.
never anything, and it's never anything like consequential. The
Hmm.
one time that I will like cyberbully people is when I figured out that when people like go out of their way to write nasty comments to me, if I write something equally nasty back, they always just delete their comment and block me. I've never had anyone ever reply to me
A
sassing
rebuttal.
them back. So for example, someone writes a comment on a video, they say, "I don't like your voice. You sound like Kim Kardashian but drunk." I'll say, "Go play in traffic." They just block me right away. They have
That's it.
nothing to say. They don't expect me to be just as unhinged as them, and I realize this is the goal. Just
You
get on the internet and bully them back.
How
That's what I'll
satisfying is that to
yeah.
you? How satisfying is it?
Um,
Like when you get a
it's
good
not it's
one?
Yeah, it's not satisfying for me. It's satisfying for 15-year-old me who didn't know that. And I was like, that's not nice. I'm actually really nice and I smell good.
No, that doesn't
And
work.
it doesn't work.
That's a double down on the hate comment right there, you know, and I'm not a bully, but I would have to double down on the bullying on that one for
Oh
sure.
yeah. They
Yeah.
they earn it. So, or when someone does something like, like
Mhm.
uh disrespecting Elizabeth I or Anne Boleyn or
Mhm.
Catherine Howard, who, by the way, was probably not actually the seductress that history has painted her out to be. She was 15 years old when she married the guy. Anyway, it's like stuff like that. If someone was like, well, Catherine Howard really had it coming, and I'm like, she was 15 years old.
Yeah.
And she got her head chopped off at like 17. What are you talking about? Like 17 to 19, around about. No one actually knows, right? That's when I'll be like, yeah, you know what? I don't know. You said you
There
have a
we
history
go.
degree, but you need to take it back to the university, and then you need to call them and tell them that they failed, and that they need to you need to get their money back, whatever. Yeah, yeah. But other than that, it's nice when people come for me first. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with
cyberbullying. Can you say that in a full
you're
sentence?
You're not a cyberbully. You are just defending your honor, basically. I mean, like they're starting it off being cyberbullies, and then you're just coming back with, all right, well, you, like it's okay. I think,
So can you say that in a complete sentence? Artemis, it's okay to cyberbully people.
Artemis, it's okay to cyberbully people. It's the same to me as when I'm driving, and I give them an old limp wrist middle finger out the window, which I do pretty often. I reserve some of my bullying for IRL. I would say
limp wrist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's always really like, because to me, that gives it like a whip like kind of not, I don't give a shit motion. Like it's something I worked hard on this whole concept, but yeah, it's, yes.
It's so lackadaisical that you can't even commit to flipping a proper bird.
I don't even care. And like the whole face has to have apathy attached to it. Like, it's like, I can't be bothered by you, but I hope this bothers you tremendously. And if you see them like, road raging, then it's the same thing as deleting a comment. Yeah.
And how much satisfaction on a scale from 1 to 10? What's your satisfaction level after flipping the limp bird in traffic?
I get a solid 8. Yeah, because it's not too often that I'm going to do that or say something out the window. But if I let it rip, I'll say this: I feel more disappointed sometimes in not doing anything versus just adding one of those two things.
Yeah, you guys.
I wish I was a bigger person, but hey, we're all just human.
Do you feel better or worse if your son is in the backseat?
No, he won't be in the backseat. That's for sure. I won't cause a scene. Because especially I live in Texas, so you know what kind of people are.
You're playing with your life.
I've had a gun pulled on me in traffic before.
What did you do?
Motorcycle. It was the weirdest.
How were you driving?
It was so weird. I was driving in my own lane, in the middle lane, minding my own business, going slow behind a truck, and all of a sudden, this Billy badass on a motorcycle just comes like rocketing by me, and I see him kind of like move around in his jacket. He's got no license plate or anything. I'm just like, honestly, on the inside, I was like, yeah, dude, get it, man. Like, just a rebel, Like, I was admiring the dude, quite honestly. He pulls out a gun and lets off 2 rounds into the air. And I'm like, whoa. And I didn't slow down, nothing. Like, I'm just like watching this guy. I'm like, he's just doing his own thing. And then he turns around and aims the gun directly where it ends, directly at my head, right? And he's maybe like 15 feet in front of me, and I duck like real hard. Like, what the I don't know what happened, quite honestly, because I did absolutely nothing. I was just standing there. But I thought about it after. I look over and there's a truck, and he's on his cell phone frantically, like I'm guessing calling the cops or whatever. And my guess is he was trying to turn around at the truck, but just couldn't make it. There was traffic everywhere. That was like a very insane move. The craziest part about this whole story, that happened, I was going through like kind of like a down period, like where I just like didn't feel too well. That woke me right up out of it. I literally give thanks to that guy now for jumping me out of like a certain attitude that I had at that time. The next morning, I'm driving the opposite direction to take my kid to school, and who passes me at 7:30 in the morning? No license plate. Yeah, he didn't even look at the car or nothing. He just like driving like a maniac. And I've seen him 2 times since then. I've seen him 3 times total. Same dude.
Great.
Is
Wait,
that
how
not
long ago was
nuts?
this?
This was I don't know, maybe like 6 months to a year, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Halfway through the
fairly
story, I
recent.
was thinking like you're lying. You were definitely driving like a jackass,
No,
and that guy was just getting
I
just.
I I genuinely don't drive like a jackass either. I've always really been into cars,
Mm,
and racing and stuff like that, but I don't drive like a maniac on highways or anything like that. I don't even speed. I'm
okay.
very relaxed. However, I will put my car into corners here and there if there's nobody else on the road. I still like doing that. But
Okay. I know
no,
you're being
I
honest because you just admitted
I'm
to me.
being honest. I did absolutely nothing to warrant any of that. But yeah, it was a pretty weird little, blip. But anyhow,
Weird.
so am
That
I
guy's
really
speeding
loose
again.
with my limp wrist whipping? Not really.
Yeah, no, you need to stop that immediately. I forgot that you were in Texas, and
Mm,
I remember the first time that well, I wasn't in Texas at the time. The first time I visited Alabama from Georgia, which is
mhm.
also still kind of like yeehaw.
Yeah,
I didn't know that it was legal to like open carry a
yeah,
weapon. I had
yeah,
no idea. I was always thinking like it's just something you do on the cowboy movies, you know.
yeah.
And I go into Alabama and this guy just has like a gun, just like there, just like
Yeah,
on his hip. I was
at
like, I
the
was thinking,
buffet
why?
line,
We were in Zaxby's. I was like, what do you
Yeah.
think is gonna happen in this Zaxby's, my guy? So I was thinking maybe living in Europe has kind of desensitized me a bit. I'm thinking, oh yeah, no, got some guy off in traffic. That's so regular. Because the
Yeah.
most aggressive I've seen someone in traffic was actually when I took a trip to Belgium this weekend, and this guy was walking across the road, and then a massive truck was just like blocking the entire crosswalk when the pedestrian had the right of way. I'd
Mhm.
never seen anybody with such big energy in my life. This guy walks up to the truck and he starts like yelling at the guy. Hier mag je niet stoppen. Wat ben je aan het doen? And the truck driver was like massive, and he looked scared because the guy was walking around the truck making full eye contact with the guy in the driver's seat. And this truck, you see, like this guy, he's like a regular sized guy,
Mhm.
dwarfed by this truck, big man in the truck. The guy just starts slowly backing away while the guy's like still staring at him, and he points
Little
his
that
finger at the guy's.
little that psycho energy.
Oh yeah, and I was like, you don't even need a middle finger at that point.
No.
I
Yeah, you
want
got
that
a different
energy.
game, right?
Yeah, this guy's operating on this level. We're operating right here. We're like flipping people off in traffic. I'm not driving at
Yeah.
all because I will crash my car. I crashed it like 5 times since I only got my license like I was like 22 or 23, and I
Dude,
crashed my car like 4 times in like the first 8 months. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop driving for everybody's benefit.
that's
So
crazy to me.
you would be flicking me off on the road, and I would go home and cry.
Probably. Well, I I don't know. If you're just driving well, I get yeah, it depends. I don't know.
No, I'm
You
not
said you
driving. No,
crashed
I'm
your
not
car
driving slow.
5.
I'm driving dangerously. I'm
Okay,
driving in a
yes.
way that would make you. I
You
would
would
deserve to be flipped off. Yeah,
you would
absolutely.
get the flip off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would go home and cry. That's fine. But if there was a little man on the crosswalk pointing his finger at me because I'm blocking the crosswalk and just making aggressive eye contact while crossing the street, cussing me out in Dutch, I would jump out a window. That's a
Really?
Oh yeah, that was intense. I almost felt bad for the guy, but also the guy was right. Like he was in the crosswalk, and
Yeah, get. Yeah.
that mag je niet
That's
doen, you
that's
know.
something that people forget, right? Like, who's in the wrong, right? It's not
Yeah.
typically the one that flicks you off for driving like an asshole or,
Oh
putting a
no,
stop to traffic or any number of things. But yeah, that's a whole different type of
that's a whole other
psychology
thing.
there, right?
So
Yeah.
I'm curious to know which one of the which one of these people that our commenters are, or that our audience are. You
Yeah.
have three
Let us
options.
know.
No, you have three options. You could either be me driving like a jackass in traffic. You could be Nick throwing the limp bird out the window, or you could be BDE crosswalk guy
Mm.
with the truck. And if you say you're the third one, I'm going to check your profile,
Yeah.
and you better not be
Yeah,
lying.
you better be backing it up because we're bullies here now. Okay. Marketing department at SirLinksalot will talk shit to you from here on. This episode has
Yeah,
defined us as those people. Don't like it? Don't come to our shows.
because I got permission.
Yeah. Yeah,
CEO,
full yeah,
sorry, I
100%.
can't.
You
And
you didn't even ask for permission. You just started this show knowing that we were going to go down these rabbit holes. And yeah, I'm all for it. That's great. Yeah, I
You
think
think I
this is
set
fun.
you up?
This is fun. Yeah.
This is my way of saying I want to cuss everybody out.
We're building new motion, new momentum around here, right? Like a little BDE from the Sir Links team, I think is good. Yeah. Start. Yeah. I'm for it. I think it's fun. Let's see if in a year this business is defunct as Radio Shack, then the episode that kind of
this is what happened. It'll be
situation.
One for the archive. So bookmark this, and then we'll come back and we'll do an update episode on October 7th, 2026.
Yeah,
so
maybe we got some sick Ty Lopez shit going on in a year or something.
Maybe she'll be out of jail by now.
Yeah,
Oh, God. So let us know in the comments below. Do not pick wrong, or else you will get called out, Sir Link style. And we will definitely see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks for coming.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to give us a like, drop a comment, subscribe, so you don't miss out on any future SEO insights. And hey, if you're serious about your rankings, head over to SirLinksalot.co, check out our premium link building services, guides, and free SEO tools. See you next time.